Hello, everybody. How do you do? How do you do? How do you do? Hello, everybody. How do you do? How do you do today? Let's go, everybody. I will read to you. Read to you. Read to you. Let's go, everybody. I will read to you if you will listen with me. Hi, everybody. This is C.W. Sparklet. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm glad you joined me this evening. First, let me tell you that I am a children's author of 2 books. And one of the books I will be reading to you tonight. I am so glad that you joined me. Thank you very much. But first, I want to tell you about 2 words. One word is called adventure. And another word is called, discovery. So when you go outside and you are in your backyard, you're going to discover a new plant, or you're going to discover a new butterfly, or you're going to even discover that trees do not look the same. And when you want to go on an adventure, you can go on an adventure on a plane or a train, or go in the car with your mom or your dad. And the adventure could be, how am I getting there? What do you see outside? What do you think is going to happen when you get to an adventure? I also have a map. And many times when you have a map, you're going on an adventure. You will use the map to find places to go with your mom and your dad and everywhere. There's all kinds of places that you can go when you're on a plane or a train. Now, trains I find that are very, very effective because you're looking out the window. When you're up in the air, sometimes the clouds get in the way that you can't see what's going on up there. But as long as you are on an adventure, and try to, when you go back home, try to write down some of the things that you saw, some of the things that you ate. And that's why I'm going to introduce you to my book called Peek, the Forgotten Book. Now, Peek is a lonely book on the shelf. And while he's on the shelf, 2 little girls come along. So let's begin the story. Peek, the Forgotten Book. Peek, the Forgotten Book sat on a bookshelf for a very long time because the children in the house did not use books anymore. This made Peek very lonely. As she sat on the bookshelf, she wondered if a child would walk up or walk by. She wondered in the days that a child would pick her up and wonder what is inside this book. They would laugh, they would be scared, and many times they would always ask questions. Now, Peek wondered who will ask those questions now. As the days went on and the dust piled up on Peek on the shelf, she asked herself, why doesn't anybody like me anymore? And there's Peek sitting on the shelf. As she looked around while she sat there waiting, she spotted 2 children. Come on, Mia, said one child. Let's go and get our laptops. Okay, said Sarah. Peek did not understand. A laptop? She wondered what a laptop was. The children sat for a very long time on the couch, opening this shiny thing. She saw something very strange. She saw something that they were using their fingers. They would go left to right and up and down, but she heard no sounds like a book would do. There were no pages. There were no crunching of the pages. There were no noises that Peek could hear. Peek the book waited, and she waited to hear those sounds. But they never came. There's the 2 little girls. Well, the 2 little children sat there for a very long time, using their fingers in a strange way that Peek didn't know what was going on. Sometimes the fingers went fast, left to right or up and down, but still there were no sounds. Time went by and the children were still sitting there. The only sound that she heard was a clicking sound. This went on for a while, and Peek still could not understand what was going on. Peek longed for those pages and those sounds and those laughters. She longed for the beginning of the book, the middle of the book, the end of the book. Peek continued to wait. Then one day, a friend of the family and the children came. It was Mom's friend, and his name was Lyle. Lyle was a traveler. He traveled the world, and he brought back items that he collected on his adventures. Wow! This time Lyle brought back a book. Lyle's book had a wonderful vision of colors, a cover that displayed millions of beautiful, brilliant colors. Peek could not see the name of the book, but she was very excited that he brought a new one into the house. The children were excited too. Lyle always brought them something. And there's Lyle. They asked Lyle what the book was about. Lyle said, well, come and sit with me and I will read it to you. And they sat there. Peek could hear every word. She was so happy. He stopped and he asked the children, do you remember how you discover things? And how special it is to hold a book in your hand? Did you ever question? Did you ever wish that you could go to a place that you read about? Peek said, oh, wow. These were the words that she always wanted to hear from the children. All of a sudden, Peek could hear the children asking questions after questions. Lyle said to the children, I see you have books up there, as he pointed to the shelf. Which one is your favorite? Well, the children said, as they pointed to Peek, that one. Lyle asked, okay, so what is it about? Well, said the girls, we don't really remember because we're on our laptops more. We don't really pick up books anymore. Lyle looked puzzled. You're on your laptop? You know, I travel to many places. Most of them do not have laptops. I learn from the people I meet. The only way I learn is by asking questions. Lyle continued, when I go to a new place far from here, I always wonder how customs work and how people live. So when I see a new plant or an animal or something that they eat, I always want to know about what that thing is about. Or I don't understand. By reading about far-off places, you discover something new. You know, books have a feeling of wonder and questions and sometimes comfort. There are books that can take you to places you might want to visit one day. As I do. The children looked at each other. They both looked up at Peek. Peek was so excited that she's getting attention. They're looking at me, she said. The next day, Lyle had to say goodbye to be off for another adventure. Before he left, he placed his hands on the children's head and said to them, the sound of a book, the feeling of the pages, the beginning, the middle, and the end will always keep you wondering. He smiled and waved goodbye as he got into a cab that will take him to his next adventure. The children ran back to the living room. They reached up for Peek the book. When they sat down and opened the cover, they saw Lyle, who is the author of Peek. This was one of his books, and the words that he spoke before he left were the same words in the book. From then on, Peek, the Forgotten Book, became one of their favorites. And so did many other books. So remember, books have a different meaning when you hold them in your hands. The end. And there is Peek, who is so excited that they picked her up. Now remember, girls and boys, going on an adventure can be in your backyard. Discovering new things can be in your backyard. Even if you picked up a rock and saw that there were bugs and ants and things underneath it. or discovering, like I said, the shapes of trees. There are many things that you can discover, and there are many adventures that you can go on. So I hope that you enjoyed this evening. I'm very proud of you for stepping in to see me. I have some shiny things over here. These are my Wonder Balls. This is my mystery box. When I go and read to my friends, they come and they put their hand in there and take some sparkles home. But I do have a little friend that I would like you to meet, because he's very, very shy. And reading books to him, they usually help children who feel good about themselves. And this is Oscar. Oscar, do you want to come out and say hello? Go say hello to the children. And sometimes children are very shy. There's Oscar. See, say hi to the children, Oscar. That is my friend. And many of you out there, make sure that when you have a friend that is very shy, sit down with them and read a book. Right, Oscar? Say goodbye to the girls and boys. Ah, there's my friend. Bye, Oscar, and we'll see you another day. Thank you for visiting. Bye, Oscar. Now I'm going to say goodbye to you, girls and boys, with a little song. Okay? And I want you to help me. Try to remember it. When you want to think about a place to go, read a book. Read a book. It can help you with the things you want to know. Read a book. Read a book. The place can take you far. The place can take you near. But when you want to know what is over there, read a book. Read a book. When you want to think of where you want to go, read a book. Read a book. Bye, boys and girls. Come and visit me at CW Sparklet. Bye, friends. Thank you for visiting.